Good morning again, everyone, and welcome to Mosaic Coffee Breaks. We're continuing our theme today with what we're all doing, just to give you an idea of what's going on in the marketplace. Um, and uh, let's perhaps kick off with me. Two I'm looking at the moment, and I know I will be boring the three of you to death. But the whole question of employee ownership trusts, they've got a number of benefits. Particularly, the seller has no capital gains tax. And also the seller can be relatively convinced that the firm is going to safe hands, in that the culture won't change, the employees probably won't be kicked out because they are all going to be owners. And perhaps almost just as importantly is you're selling to a friendly buyer. So whilst you need to have a genuine independent valuation, and the trustees of the trust company will need to challenge and make sure that that's a genuinely independent valuation. It's nothing like as hard-nosed as if you're selling to a third party. I've got two of those on the go at the moment. Couple of quirks. You always need a tax clearance on these arrangements. Um, uh, the key tax clearance is the transaction in securities tax clearance, which I was a bit concerned that with the revenue and the pandemic, it might be kicked down the road with a spurious or minor question. In fact, we got the tax clearance within 26 days of the 30 days that they had to come up with. So that was the statutory clearance. We've also got a non-statutory clearance on a particularly technical issue about interest in the EOT after the event. But that has passed their 30 days, and I've done a chaser, and I still haven't got a response. The problem there, it's non-statutory. They try to respond within 30 days, but they have no statutory duty to do so. So there is evidence there that it is being somewhat slow. So EOT is very much a flavour of the month for me. Yes,
Well,
I'm not.
Howard, I think you're positioning yourself very much as the expert in that field, aren't you?
I seem to be picking quite a few up at the moment. I don't know how many law firm EOTs have been done. There is some research from an independent consultancy suggesting that there are only 300 to perhaps 500 EOTs across the country, and that will be across all sectors. I can only perhaps think of half a dozen law firms that I know of that might have done it. So the market is wide open there. Okay, so that's me. Let's go over to, let's do Mark again. Come on, Mark, what are you doing as well?
Oh, I've got my to-do list here, looking down it. Lots of interesting things. Well, yeah, as you know, I'm always talking about LLP versus limited company for incorporated law firms, because nobody should be a traditional partnership anymore, because it's just not worth it. So if you're going to incorporate, which way do you go? And there's pros and cons. You've got tax, and you've also got flexibility. I am a fan of the LLP because of its flexibility. We've got a job on at the moment which is really proving this. It's a nasty partnership dispute, I use the word partnership in inverted commas, in a small limited company law firm. And you've suddenly got the Companies Act and employment rights, and it makes it a nightmare. If this had been an LLP with one of our famous Red Sox clauses, it would have been done and dusted. Because fine, there is a shareholders agreement. It doesn't particularly help, but it's messy valuation clauses and so on and so forth. But it's employment rights, and this is going to be it. We will sort it, but it is going to take months and months and cost an awful lot more money to get it resolved than had it been an LLP. So whilst, I think on incorporation, there are certainly some tax advantages to going down the limited company route. But in terms of, once you've exhausted those, the running costs and the difficulty of managing it longer term are really worth thinking about.
Mark, I'm not going to ask you to give comments on unlimited partnerships, but I would just add, for the first time in many years, I've come across a trading company, not a law firm, using an unlimited company. And you just say to yourself, why would you do that? But they are very private. They didn't want any information in the public domain. but wanted to only pay their 19% corporation tax on the profits made in the company.
Yeah, Howard and Mark, I know of a law firm that is very, very comfortably in the UK top 200, would be somewhere in the 100 to 150 position, and they are an unlimited general partnership. They never appear in the UK top 200 or any other league tables. They want to keep everything about themselves private.
Yeah.
And they don't even talk on their website or in their marketing collateral about being big or substantial or one of the leading 200 or 500. They don't want their clients to pick up that either. So that is still there.
Yeah. Privacy. I think we often
absolutely.
see people keep privacy. It's for two reasons. One is the reason that Nigel's mentioned is that they don't want people to know how they're big. The other one we found with traditional partnerships is the partners didn't want people to know quite how badly they were doing.
Yes.
We've also got, I have come across a law firm that was a limited partnership under the Limited Partnership Act, 7, very obscure. And to be fair, the only reason we thought they'd gone down that route was because they were attempting to form an LLP and had got it wrong. There's no other reason for the...
Wonderful. On that note, then, Barry, what are you up to?
Well, as some of you know, one of the things I'm doing at the moment is helping one of my clients to divest themselves of their personal injury department. And so I've been talking to other people who have got mandates for buyers. And I think the interesting thing that I'm seeing in the market now is this sort of split. There are people with money who are actually looking to buy, and sellers are not looking to sell. Sellers are not actually looking to sell at the moment because things are not bad enough for them. The whole market has become relatively comfortable. A lot of people are sitting on a lot of cash, and therefore it's very odd as a member. The ones that want to sell are the ones that nobody would want to buy. So I'm as I say, I'm getting in various discussions with people about this one project, and the interesting thing about it is that the firm that's looking to sell is doing it because of a very clear business strategy, not because circumstances have forced them down that route. And I have to say, in all my years of working with law firms, people actually having a clear business strategy and deciding not to do something is a fairly rare eventuality.
Excellent, thank you. Nigel, last but certainly not least, what are you doing?
One thing I thought might give some interest to our half a dozen viewers is it was given birth by these Mosaic coffee mornings, because when we started these in the initial lockdown, I thought, well, that's it's a really nice idea. It's easy to do. We're all stuck at home. So I started running a couple of these for client firms to sort of drop in on an afternoon, and we'll talk about how you're managing your cash flow, how you're managing to adapt to working from home, and so on and so forth. And those two groups ran throughout 2020 with fortnightly meetings. And they were pretty large groups to start with, like a dozen on each call. And people sort of gradually left and lost interest, either because they were in other groups doing something similar, like LawNet. Barry will know they have a managing partners support group every Friday or every other Friday. And the wind seemed to go out of the sails, particularly during the autumn. So I decided in December to merge the remaining members of the two groups into one and relaunch it in January. And I have to say, we are absolutely delighted with the results, because it stopped being a COVID support group. I've now got 8 or 9 client firms who are delightfully spread geographically, non-competing.
Oh, great.
And we're now using each session to have an informal benchmarking conversation about particular topics. So we did leverage at the beginning of the month. A week, 10 days ago, we did time recording, we're doing gross margins on our next call, and so on and so forth. And the managing partners are finding it very valuable.
Well, I think that concludes where we're up to on our second round of what we're all up to. I will just take issue with Nigel's half dozen viewers, because believe it or not, we've been looking at the stats, and I accept it's across 4 or 5 of us, but over the last year, we've had 22,000 views of these sessions, which is quite amazing. So please keep viewing. Hope you're all enjoying them. Thank you for watching us. And as ever, watch out for another coffee break coming to a laptop near you soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, all the best.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not providing coffee for 22,000 people.